time to talk law. This is Radio 97, and at this time, each and every Thursday morning, our resident lawyer, Despina Priala of boutique law firm Priala Legal in Runaway Bay, with us, and she brings her legal expertise. She provides some general advice and some very good advice too on the latest hot topics. She has experience that spans more than 25 years in the area of property and commercial law. She prepares wills as part of estate planning and litigation as well. She's with us once again. Morning to you, Despina.
Good morning, Wayne. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning, Desi. Welcome back to Talking Law. First up this morning, we're talking about the Queensland First Homeowner Grant that has officially been extended. But in reality, Despina, do you actually think this is good news for first home buyers?
Yes, I'm not really sure if it is. So we want to talk about this extension of the First Homeowners Grant that's been, announced by Queensland Premier. And we want to talk about whether it's actually going to do anything at all. And I say that quite honestly because we have a lot of issues going on in Australia, particularly in Queensland, that we want to talk about. We've got problems to solve. We've got housing crisis. We've got housing accommodation issues. And we've got a construction industry that's at breaking point. So we want to talk about these things and really sort of throw the questions out there, I suppose. It's not for us to judge, is it? We could, but we don't really do that on this show. What we do is that we pose the questions that maybe other people aren't asking out there from the relevant stakeholders to say, is this really the right thing to do? So what has the Premier done? So the Premier has increased the first homeowner grant from 15,000 to 30,000. And these are for contracts from the 20th of November. And I believe they will finish, and this grant will finish 30 June 2025. Okay, so we're talking about contracts, entered into a week ago to 30 June 2025. So yes, it seems, great. What is it going to do though? So if you're buying, if you're a first-time buyer, and there's an eligibility criteria. Obviously, you've got to tick all the boxes, and you can actually go online and do the eligibility tester. And we can talk about some of those aspects today. But you've got to be a first-home buyer. It's got to be a brand new home, or it's got to be one that's built. And the other critical part is it's got to be less than $750,000. So this is what we want to get to talk about this morning is, well, hang on. Less than $750,000. So
not too many of those around. Yeah,
exactly. Where can we find that? Where can we find that? So we've had a massive, increase in values of properties since COVID and through COVID, and it's continued. And the average medium house price, I was looking this morning online at a particular report, which all the Australian capital cities combined, the average medium house price is over 900,000. For units, it's just under 650,000. So it's really quite difficult out there for first-home buyers from a lot of different aspects to buy their first home. But particularly, it seems to be that we're almost sort of forcing first-home buyers to buy brand new.
Yeah.
Because this grant only applies to brand new properties. And originally, I believe when the grant was issued on this basis, it was to provide an injection, into the construction industry to get the construction going, to get things built, to create that, to boost the economy, to create jobs, right? So we did all of that. But, we need to move beyond that. And years ago, the grant, when it first came out, was available to first-home buyers for existing homes, not just brand new. And then it changed, and then it only applied to brand new homes. So why aren't we looking at, extending the grant to existing homes for first-home buyers to try and help them get into the market? And then some people might say, why are we trying to help people, first-home buyers, get into the market? Look at the interest rates, and that's a good point. So this injection, this extension of the grant to 30,000, okay, might seem great, but why is there a problem? Why is there a drop in first-home buyer ownership rates? Why is that happening? It's not because of the grant that was only 15,000. It's because of interest rates as well.
Yep.
Who can afford to get a loan these days?
Yeah. As you say, 750,000 is the limit that we're talking about here. And well, even on the Gold Coast these days, you've got to search high and low to even find something under that price.
I think you've got to go and live with the cows,
Yeah.
and the chickens to be able to find something that's under 750. I mean, some people might say, well, why are first home buyers looking at expensive homes? But everything is relative. What is expensive these days is quite different to what was expensive 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when we had interest rates at 18, 19% under a different, head of government. So, there's a lot of factors to think about here. I'm just posing the question, was it the right thing to do? And I think maybe a question to put out there is this an election issue? Is this something that's been raised by the Premier because an election's coming up and people are saying, oh, the rate of first home ownership has dropped. What do we do about that? What can we do about that? What can we be seen to do to help first home buyers? And my question is, will this actually help them?
Yeah, definitely. And off air, we were talking about stamp duty, which we know is quite expensive. And I didn't realize you said just here in Queensland, we're one of the most expensive states. So they could have changed that and it might have made a bigger difference.
Well, my understanding is that this extension, this injection, this increase of the first time owner grant has come from something that's been given to the government as a windfall, and this was it was a one-off windfall from the increased coal royalties. Okay, so the government received this, and they've decided in their infinite wisdom to apply it to extending the first time owner grant. But another question I pose is, well, why couldn't we use this to change stamp duty rules? So if you're a first home buyer in Queensland, you don't pay any stamp duty. You can be exempt from paying any duty at all. But there's a threshold. And the threshold is still 500,000. It's been 500,000 years.
Yeah.
It's absolutely useless. Why couldn't we bump it up to say 750? In New South Wales, it's higher. In New South Wales, my recollection from the last time I did a New South Wales transaction for a first home buyer, the last few months, was that it was 750, and it is 750. So New South Wales have increased it as of the 1st of July. It was this year. Why can't we do the same in Queensland for first home buyers? Why aren't we helping first home buyers and owners to push that exemption threshold to 750? I mean, that would be far more valuable. Why are we forcing first home buyers to pay a duty, a tax to the government when the government already, if I can say, collects a lot of other stamp duty and taxes from a lot of other consumers in Queensland? I mean, I'm just posing the question out there. I think that it could have been used in a different way. I know that the REIQ has come out and said a similar thing, that really, was this the right lever to pull? And they're saying, well, perhaps not. And perhaps it could have been used to help first home buyers, as I said, with stamp duty. Because when you look at the reality of things, we have a lot of problems to solve in this country, particularly where we house everybody, as we were talking off air. We have a housing crisis. We have to build, I think they were saying, a lot of people are reporting the stats about 40,000 homes have to be built just in southeast Queensland per year to keep up with the ever-increasing population.
And of course, we do have an issue. It's been raised a number of times more recently that we're looking at. I think it's around 500,000 people or even more that will be coming to this country to live permanently in the 12 months up until we're right in the middle of that at the moment. So not only do we have an issue with the people already here, but we also have more coming.
Absolutely. It's happening all the time. Gold Coast has always been one of the, I suppose, the most popular destinations, and particularly COVID increased that. We were always seen to be the safe state compared to everybody else in Australia. So yes, it's increased values of properties, and that might have helped a lot of people in a variety of different ways. But we have other big problems to solve. We have a shortage of builders in Queensland, particularly on the Gold Coast. We have things that have to be built. We have projects shelved because they can't be built, because we only have a handful of builders now that are capable of building. So we have a lot of things to resolve. I don't think, if I can say, that increasing the grant from 15,000 to 30 without changing anything else, and having a threshold of less than 750 for it to apply to brand new homes or brand new homes to be built is actually going to solve the problem in any meaningful way. But I could be wrong. Let's see. Time will tell, won't it?
Time will tell. That's right. Thank you so much, Despina. And coming up next, the Gold Coast story about a couple who lost their deposit on an off-the-plan settlement in Burleigh, a $600,000 purchase, $60K deposit lost. But Despina has some details coming up that might make you think a little bit differently about this story that's been hitting headlines. That's coming up on Talking Law in just a moment.
Are you confused about legal jargon? Do you need legal advice but don't know where to turn? Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97. Despina, a leading lawyer with over 20 years of experience, will demystify the law and provide practical advice to help you navigate legal issues. Whether it's a family matter, a property dispute, or a business concern, Talking Law has got you covered. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97.